I spent an entire Saturday looking for my reading glasses, only to find them buried under a stack of magazines I'd been meaning to read for months. As I stood in my cluttered living room, surrounded by decades of accumulated possessions, I had a moment of clarity that changed everything. I owned so much stuff that I couldn't find the things I actually needed. That day, I started what I now call my great simplification. I began letting go of possessions, commitments, and even relationships that no longer served my life. What I discovered wasn't loss or sacrifice. It was freedom, peace, and a kind of joy I hadn't experienced since childhood. The process taught me something profound about aging that our culture doesn't want us to know. Getting older isn't about adding more to your life. It's about discovering what truly matters and having the wisdom to let go of everything else. At 68, I own fewer possessions than I did at 30, yet my life feels richer, more purposeful, and infinitely more peaceful. Young people collect experiences, objects, and obligations, thinking more will make them happier. But there is a beautiful truth that only comes with age. Simplicity isn't about having less because you can't afford more. It's about choosing less because you finally understand what's truly valuable. Today, I am sharing the 5 areas where embracing simplicity can transform your later years from cluttered and overwhelming to peaceful and joyful. Before we explore the beauty of simplicity, let's practice a mindful routine that helps us connect with what we truly need versus what we think we want. The essential breath simplicity practice. Sit comfortably and close your eyes if that feels good to you. We're going to practice appreciating the simplest, most essential things in life. Take a slow, deep breath in, focusing only on the sensation of air entering your lungs. Notice how this simple act sustains your entire life. You don't need to think about breathing. You don't need special equipment. This most essential function just happens, simply and perfectly. Now exhale slowly, releasing not just air but also any mental clutter or worry about things you think you need to do, buy, or accomplish. Let go of the complexity. Place one hand on your heart and feel it beating steadily. This simple rhythm has sustained you for decades without any effort or attention from you. Feel gratitude for this simple, essential miracle. Look around the room and identify 3 simple things that bring you genuine comfort or joy. Maybe it's a comfortable chair, natural light from a window, or a photograph of someone you love. Notice how the most meaningful things in your life are often the simplest. Take 3 more breaths, each time appreciating something simple: the roof over your head, the ability to see and hear, the peace of this moment. Gratitude for life's simple essentials. Here's your simplicity gratitude practice. Think of these 3 aspects of simple living. 1 simple pleasure or comfort that brings you joy without costing money or requiring effort. 1 relationship or connection that feels natural and uncomplicated. 1 daily routine or habit that grounds you and feels effortlessly satisfying. Write these down or hold them in your awareness. When we focus on what's simple and essential in our lives, we realize how much we already have and how little we actually need to feel content. Here are the 5 key areas where embracing simplicity can transform your experience of aging from overwhelming to joyful. Area number 1: possessions from accumulation to curation. For decades, we collect things: clothes we might wear someday, books we might read, kitchen gadgets we might use. But in later life, we gain the wisdom to distinguish between owning things and things owning us. I've learned that every possession requires energy, space to store it, time to maintain it, mental energy to remember it. When I downsized from 40 years of accumulation to just what I actually use and love, I didn't lose anything. I gained space, peace, and the ability to actually enjoy what I kept. Area number 2: commitments from busy to purposeful. Young people say yes to everything, thinking more activities equal a fuller life. But we've learned that being busy isn't the same as being fulfilled. Simplifying commitments means choosing fewer activities that align deeply with your values rather than filling every day with obligations. I serve on 1 board that I'm passionate about instead of 3 that felt like work. The result is deeper engagement and genuine satisfaction. Area number 3: relationships from quantity to quality. We no longer have the energy or desire to maintain superficial friendships or toxic relationships. This isn't antisocial, it's wisdom. We've learned that some relationships drain energy while others restore it. Simplifying relationships means investing deeply in connections that nourish your soul and gracefully distancing yourself from those that don't. Area number 4: goals from complex to clear. Young people have elaborate 5-year plans with multiple goals in every life area. We've learned that simpler goals are more achievable and satisfying. Instead of trying to improve 15 aspects of life simultaneously, we focus on one or two things that really matter. My only goal this year is to spend more quality time with my grandchildren. Simple, clear, achievable, and deeply meaningful. Area number 5. Daily routines from complicated to comfortable. We've stopped trying to optimize every moment and instead embrace routines that feel naturally satisfying. Simple morning rituals, uncomplicated meal planning, and straightforward daily rhythms create a foundation of peace that supports everything else. I make the same breakfast most mornings, take the same walking route, and read in the same chair each evening. This isn't boring. It's beautifully simple and deeply grounding. One of the most liberating aspects of financial planning in later life is discovering how much less you actually need when you embrace simplicity. The Enough Economics financial philosophy. The greatest financial revelation of my retirement years was learning the difference between more and enough. For decades, I operated under the assumption that financial security meant having as much money as possible. But I've discovered that knowing you have enough for a simple, satisfying life is far more peaceful than constantly pursuing more. When I simplified my lifestyle, my financial needs decreased dramatically. Fewer possessions meant lower insurance costs, smaller housing needs, and less money spent on maintenance and replacement. Fewer commitments meant less spending on gas, dining out, and obligation-related purchases. The result was financial freedom through reduced expenses rather than increased income. My friend David's simplification success story. David was spending $6,000 per month trying to maintain a large home, expensive hobbies, and a social calendar that exhausted him. He was constantly worried about having enough money for his lifestyle. Instead of trying to increase his income, he simplified his life. He moved to a smaller home that better suited his actual needs, focused on free or low-cost activities he genuinely enjoyed, and reduced his social commitments to only the relationships that truly mattered to him. His monthly expenses dropped to $3,500, eliminating his financial anxiety and giving him both money and energy to spend on what really brought him joy. Practical simplicity financial strategy. Create a simplicity budget that distinguishes between essential expenses and complexity costs. Essential expenses include basic housing, food, healthcare, and transportation. Complexity costs include expenses related to maintaining possessions you don't use, activities you don't enjoy, and lifestyle choices that require more money but don't increase satisfaction. Track your spending for 3 months and identify which expenses actually contribute to your happiness and which are just habits or social expectations. You might discover that eliminating complexity costs provides more financial security than any investment strategy. Remember, financial peace in retirement comes not just from having enough money, but from needing less money to live well. When you align your spending with your true values and simplify your lifestyle, you often discover that you already have everything you need for a rich, satisfying life. Physical simplicity means focusing on gentle, sustainable movements that make you feel good rather than complicated fitness routines. These simple exercises can be done anywhere and create a foundation of physical well-being. The Simple Strength Movement series. Please check with your doctor before starting any exercise routine. 1. Peaceful standing or sitting tall. Whether you're standing or sitting, focus on lengthening your spine and relaxing your shoulders. Hold this posture for 30 seconds while breathing normally. Think simple and strong. This basic posture work strengthens your core and improves breathing without any equipment or complicated movements. 2. Gentle arm circles for simplicity. Extend your arms out to your sides and make slow, small circles forward for 10 repetitions, then backward for 10 repetitions. As you move, think about how simple movement can maintain your mobility and strength. This keeps your shoulders flexible and strong with minimal effort. 3. Mindful leg extensions. While seated, slowly extend one leg straight out, hold for 3 seconds, then lower it down. Repeat 8 times, then switch legs. Focus completely on this simple movement without distractions. This strengthens your leg muscles and improves circulation with a very basic exercise. 4. Simple balance practice. Stand behind a chair for support and lift one foot slightly off the ground, balancing for 10 seconds. Switch feet and repeat. As you balance, appreciate how your body naturally adjusts and maintains stability. This improves balance and confidence with a fundamental movement. 5. Restorative deep breathing. Sit comfortably and take 5 slow, deep breaths, focusing only on the simple act of breathing. Let go of any need to exercise perfectly or achieve specific goals. Simply appreciate your body's ability to move and function well. This reduces stress and centers your mind through the simplest exercise of all. Remember, simple, consistent movement is more beneficial than complex, sporadic exercise. Listen to your body and honor what feels good rather than pushing for more. The goal is feeling peaceful and strong, not achieving performance metrics. These basic movements can be done daily without strain or special preparation. Focus on how movement makes you feel rather than what you accomplish. Let me show you how to create a simple, beautiful digital photo collection that captures what matters most without getting overwhelmed by technology or complexity. Building your Simple Joys photo album. Step 1. Choose one simple platform. Use your phone's built-in photo app or a simple program like Google Photos on your computer. Don't worry about multiple platforms or complex software. Pick one system and stick with it for simplicity. Step 2. Create just 3 photo folders. Make 3 simple categories: people I love, places that matter, and simple pleasures. Don't create dozens of detailed folders. Keep it simple so you can actually find and enjoy your photos. Step 3. Take photos with purpose. Instead of photographing everything, focus on capturing simple moments that bring you joy. Your morning coffee cup, a beautiful sunset, your pet sleeping peacefully, a conversation with a friend. Quality and meaning matter more than quantity. Step 4. The weekly photo review. Every Sunday, look through the photos you took that week. Delete the ones that don't spark joy or meaning. Keep only the images that make you smile or remind you of something special. This prevents digital clutter from building up. Step 5. Share. Simply learn to send 1 or 2 meaningful photos to family members each week via text or email. Don't worry about creating elaborate albums or presentations. Simple sharing of simple moments creates connection. Step 6. Print your favorites once a month. Print 5-10 of your favorite photos and put them in a simple album or even just a showbox. Having physical photos you can hold and look at without technology creates a different kind of joy than digital images. The beautiful result: you'll have a curated collection of images that truly represent what matters in your life, organized simply enough that you'll actually look at and enjoy them. This isn't about becoming a photographer. It's about capturing and preserving the simple beauty that surrounds you every day. The wisdom of simplicity that you develop in later life isn't just personal enlightenment. It is a valuable gift you can share with younger generations who are drowning in complexity and the false belief that more equals better. The simple wisdom legacy. Reflection. Think about this question. What have you learned about the relationship between simplicity and happiness that you wish you could teach to people who are still in the accumulation and complication phase of life? Your answer contains hard-won wisdom about what truly matters in life. Young people are often trapped in the exhausting cycle of pursuing more possessions, more activities, more achievements, more connections. They need to hear from someone who has lived long enough to discover the peace and joy that come from choosing less. 3 ways to share your simplicity wisdom. 1. The Less is More story collection. Write down specific stories about times when simplifying your life led to greater happiness, peace, or satisfaction. These stories provide concrete examples of how choosing less can result in having more of what really matters: time, peace, relationships, and joy. 2. The Values Clarification Practice. Help younger family members identify what truly matters to them by sharing how your own priorities changed over time. Talk about possessions you thought you needed that you later realized were just clutter, or activities you thought were important that you later recognized as distractions from what really mattered. 3. The Simple Living Demonstration. Let your simplified lifestyle be a living example of contentment and peace. When young people see that you're happy with less, it gives them permission to question the cultural messages about needing more to be successful or satisfied. This week's Simplicity Legacy Challenge. Share one specific example with a younger person about how simplifying an aspect of your life led to greater happiness or peace. Don't give advice about what they should do. Just tell your story and let them draw their own conclusions about the relationship between simplicity and satisfaction. Your journey toward simplicity represents decades of learning about what truly brings fulfillment. When you share this wisdom through stories and example, you offer younger generations a roadmap for finding peace and contentment without waiting until later in life to discover it. Tonight's challenge will help you experience the immediate joy that comes from choosing simplicity. The One Simple Choice Challenge. Before bed tonight, identify one area of your life where you can simplify something tomorrow. It could be clearing one small surface or drawer of items you don't actually use, saying no to one commitment or activity that doesn't bring you genuine satisfaction, simplifying one daily routine to make it more peaceful and less rushed, choosing to focus on just one important task rather than trying to accomplish multiple things, preparing a simple, satisfying meal instead of something complicated, spending time with one person who truly matters rather than multiple superficial social interactions. Choose something small but meaningful. The goal isn't to overhaul your entire life overnight. The goal is to experience how one simple choice can create immediate peace and satisfaction. If you feel comfortable sharing, come to the comments and write, "Tomorrow I'm choosing simplicity by specific action." When you publicly commit to simplifying one thing, you increase your likelihood of following through and might inspire others to embrace their own simple choices. You might be surprised by how good it feels to choose less instead of more, to focus instead of multitask, or to let go instead of accumulate. Simple choices often bring immediate relief and joy. Remember, simplicity isn't about deprivation or settling for less. It is about having the wisdom to choose what truly matters and the courage to let go of everything else. Let's embrace what we've discovered about the joy of simplicity. The wisdom of later life isn't about accepting limitations. It is about finally understanding what truly brings happiness and having the courage to let go of everything that doesn't. Simplicity isn't loss. It's liberation from the exhausting pursuit of more. When you choose fewer possessions, you gain space and peace. When you choose fewer commitments, you gain time and energy for what matters. When you choose simpler routines, you create a foundation of calm that supports everything else in your life. Most importantly, your journey towards simplicity demonstrates something beautiful to a world obsessed with accumulation. True wealth isn't about having more things. It's about needing fewer things to feel content, peaceful, and joyful. If this message about the beauty of simple living resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit from choosing less to gain more. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're building a community of people who understand that aging brings wisdom, and wisdom leads to simplicity. Share one area where you've discovered that less really is more in the comments below. Your example might inspire someone else to embrace the peaceful joy that comes from simplifying their own life. Remember, you've earned the right to live simply, peacefully, and according to your own values, rather than society's expectations about what you should want or achieve. Embrace the beautiful freedom that comes from knowing what's enough. Until next week, choose what matters, release what doesn't, and celebrate the joy that comes from a simple, well-lived life. With deep appreciation for the wisdom that brings simplicity,